Vamos a ver lo que hace la película Pretty Woman.
Let us take a look at the movie Pretty Woman. Our scene opens on Hollywood Boulevard at night. Vivian, the main character, played by Julia Roberts, is there with her friend and roommate Kit, who is a drug addict. The two are in a desperate situation. They owe several months' rent, and the landlord has told them he is going to kick them out tomorrow. So Vivian has to go out on the street to quickly rustle up even a few dollars to give the landlord, so he will not kick them out. And they are standing on their corner.
Y en esto resulta que hay un señor que se llama Edward, que es el potentado.
The other main character is a man named Edward, who is a tycoon. He is an investment banker specialized in buying and selling. He buys companies, restructures them and sells them, and he makes billions doing it. Well, he's on his way to his hotel, but he's gotten lost, and he doesn't know how to get there. He turns down the street and stops.
Oh yo, catch this. You're caught tonight. Don't take less than 100.
Kit tells Vivian, don't take less than 100.
Hey, Sugar, you looking for a date?
No, I want to find Beverly Hills. Can you give me directions?
Sure. For $5.
Hey, Sugar, you looking for a date? No, I want to find Beverly Hills. Can you give me directions? Vivian says, sure, for $5.
Ridiculous.
Price just went up to 10.
Eso es ridículo.
That's ridiculous. And Vivian, with a very dignified air, says, the price just went up to 10. Well, in Edward's money clip, there are only $20 bills.
Y dice, tienes cambio de 20.
You win, I lose. You change for 20?
For 20, I'll show you personal.
Y dice, por
So
20.
he asks, you got change for a 20? And Vivian answers, for 20, I'll show you personal. Drive. And that's where the scene ends. The two of them drive off in the car. That section of the script is actually titled Negotiation of the Price. Let's see how they negotiate the price. Well, Edward has already got this girl in his car, though he's not quite sure how it happened. In theory, she's going to show him, for $20, how to get to Beverly Hills. And that's when temptation comes. The flesh is weak, right? There are a number of vicissitudes. She's right there within his reach. And Edward, who has been all wrapped up in his business deals, comes back down to earth and asks, what kind of money do you girls make these days?
What kind of money you girls make these days? Ballpark.
Can't take less than $100.
$100 a night.
For an hour.
Can't take less than $100. She is asking a lot of money. $100. Notice the negotiation. They are already negotiating. $100 a night for an hour.
You gotta be joking.
I never joke about money.
Neither do I.
You gotta be joking. He refuses. They are negotiating. She gets tough. I never joke about money. And Edward says, neither do I. But he keeps turning it all over in his mind, and he's thinking, man, this girl. So he asks Vivian, how much for the entire night? And Vivian answers, you couldn't afford it.
How much for the entire night?
You couldn't afford it.
Try me.
$300.
Done.
Try me. She thinks it over and says, $300. Now that she is being brave, she might as well ask $300 a night. And Edward, who has seen the goods and likes what he has seen and would be willing to pay $3,000, says, do you know what he says? Done. $300 for the whole night. That is their process of negotiation.
Would you consider spending the week with me?
If you're talking 24 hours a day, it's gonna cost you.
Yeah, how much?
6 full nights, days to 4,000.
Later he asks her, would you consider spending the week with me? How much? Well, she has already seen his hotel suite and she says, 4,000. Notice that this time around she starts out asking 4,000. He says, 6 nights at 300 is 1,800. Well, they go back and forth a couple of times and finally close the deal at 3,000.
6 nights at 300 is 1,800.
You want days too?
2,000.
3,000.
Done.
Holy shit!
Entonces digo que una de las veces se pelea
At one point in the movie, Vivian tells Edward, maybe it's when they're fighting and she's telling him off. Anyway, she says, I would have stayed for 2,000. And it gives her a feeling of satisfaction, as if saying, I'm smarter than you. You're an idiot because you've paid me more. And do you know how Edward responds? He doesn't even bat an eye. He's as cool as a cucumber. He says, I would have paid 4. From his point of view, he is the one who has gotten the better end of the deal. So they balance each other out. Again, that illustrates what all the examples I have provided have shown. That in an exchange, when the deal is closed, both parties always come out ahead. The buyer was always willing to pay more, and the seller was always willing to sell for less. Always, under all circumstances.
Luego, apliquémonos el cuento, queridos alumnos.
So, dear students, let us take note. When we find ourselves in a situation that requires us to make an isolated exchange, let us not show all of our cards. Let us try to develop the necessary negotiating skills, so that at least we can close our deals at a price somewhere in the middle. And I repeat, even if the price lies at one end, both parties benefit whenever a deal is closed. Remember the conclusion Böhm-Bawerk draws. He writes, in isolated exchange between one buyer and one seller, the price is determined somewhere between the subjective valuation of the commodity by the buyer as upper limit and the subjective valuation by the seller as lower limit.
Del vendedor.